Hey guys, welcome to my newest video for today. Today's video is going to be a bit of a different video. I'm just going to do a quick general life update because there's been quite a dramatic change in my circumstances in the last couple of weeks, and I just thought I'd just briefly explain what's happened and obviously what it means for my channel. But basically, long story short, I had suddenly had to pack up and where I was living on campus, because as you can tell, I'm back in my room, and I had to move back home because basically I had issues switching my payments over, and the gist of it basically was that as I was a full-time student, I could not go onto this payment I was most eligible for, because I had to be able to accept full-time work, and as a full-time student I would not be able to do that. So yeah, basically it was a very crazy week when I was told that, from the moment I was that, and then it's basically because let me just see if I can explain it a bit more clearer, because the payment I was on before, which was Austudy, I was only given a year and a half of, because I'd previously studied at a similar level, even though I didn't actually I only got Austudy for one of those years, but they still count it as a whole, even if, regardless of whether you received it or not. So that was first part. But I was told I asked repeatedly, is there going to be any dramas switching from Austudy to Newstart? And every single time it was basically, no, it's going to be fine, you can still study on Newstart. And no one bothered to tell me that I had to be part-time to study to be able to still claim Newstart. So basically I'm in the process of switching over to Newstart. I had to so I had to pack up there, had to terminate my contract on campus, so which luckily my parents helped me out there, so I still still have to pay them back, but hopefully once I get all this sorted, I can start paying them back. Then I can focus on propping up my savings while I'm looking for work. And so it's been really chaotic, and that's why there hasn't been any videos in the last couple of weeks, because I had to pack up my room as we over the weekend, from because it was the Thursday when I had that initial appointment, and I was told, it'll be my claim would be rejected immediately, and obviously that was keeping me up there, helping me study, and with the rent and all of that. And my parents did offer to pay for the remainder of the year, because I was actually considering making this year my last year at college. I was going to actually move home and continue studying via distance, but because I got the second year, I proved to myself I could do it, and I just didn't imagine it. I mean, still a year and a half is still better than my attempt before, because I don't know if I mentioned it, I was previously at the college that I was staying at, but at that point it didn't work out, so I moved when I was first studying uni, it didn't work out, and so I moved. That only lasted a year, but my studying has I suppose with how much I'm doing of it, it's definitely improved. My grades are fairly consistent now, so aside from that hiccup in trimester 1, but won't talk about that. But it's basically it came down to, I didn't feel comfortable expecting my parents to pay that, even though they were prepared to continue to paid me the same amount that I would have received each fortnight, but yeah, I was just like, I mean, I already owe them so much money, and I didn't think it was that fair, like, to ask them to continue to pay for me until, and yeah, so I basically decided, like, because I went and, like, I spoke to the office, like, the next day, which was Friday, and then I just basically asked, what the process was. So I spoke to the head of the college and, yes, went through the steps, which was actually one of the steps I had to speak with her, like, if I had, like, intentions of leaving, and that was the only real, like, thing I had to do at the office, because everything was done via, like, on the actual campus. Like, it was all centralized, so they all handled the residential aspects of it. So yeah, like, in the past week I've sort of switched. Well, first I terminated my contract. I said, like, put in my advice of departure. Then I had, which actually, again, that was because when I first submitted it, I actually put in the date I submitted it, because I was like, by that date I had to leave the college, and I put that exact day that I submitted the form, and I was like, and I didn't know until, like, I think it was the Monday when they like rang me, and they're like, oh, you put in the thing for this date, not, because I was meant to move out on the Monday, which was the 22nd, and yeah, and for some reason I just put in the date that I submitted the form. So, but anyway, got that sorted. Luckily my the amount that I had to pay them wasn't that much, because where I ended the contract, because I think it was right at the start of where my rent is covered, like, from my rent payment, that is basically, so I think I had the full amount of rent, so that all went into the, like, my final payment that I had to make for breaking the contract. So I think it ended up being, like, instead of like $1,100, it was like $600 something. So that made it a lot less money that I have to, like, repay my parents. So that part ended up being good. So, $600 is better than $1,100. And yeah, so I've also had to switch from, because I was on campus full-time, I had to switch to off-campus part-time, because I'm now actually only doing 2 subjects, because the full-time load is 4 subjects, or it may be 3 as well, but I think I was doing 4, because it was, to try and, like, actually get, because it's, like, quite a, like, a 5-year degree, so trying to get as many subjects done as I possibly can, and I, like, and that, so I had to drop 2 of my subjects that I was planning on doing, because I was, because I'm also trying to get my major like, I want to finish my major, because I've declared international studies as my main area for my the arts part of my degree. So I had, basically, I was initially, if I'd still been full-time, I was doing the second part of, because as my part of my law degree, like, for this year, I was doing torts, so I was doing the second part, which was torts 2, and then I was doing, what was the second one? And I was going to do 21st century international relations as part of the study, my major, and then I was also going to do a second one, which was about governance in the Pacific region. So, and then I was just going to do prisons and punishment, which was actually a criminology subject, but it still counted towards my degree. So I was actually really looking forward to doing those 2 subjects, but I had to sort of decide, because obviously one of them, because I've decided to do, like, 1 law subject, 1 art subject, and then over try 3 I can, which is, like, over the Christmas period, I can do, like, from, like, November to think the first week of February. I could do 2 subjects then, so I don't have to like completely blow out how long my degree is going to take, because I know if you started part-time from the offset, it was like 12 years to do a Bachelor of Arts, Bachelor of Laws, and I've already got like a year and a bit under my belt, so I'm hoping because of the credits I've done, it's not going to take, and I've already claimed credit for some of the subjects that I previously studied with my journalism degree, so that sort of got down how many credit points I needed. But yeah, so I don't know how long it's going to take me now to do it. I'm hoping it's only going to be like maybe 6 or 7 years if I do the whole 2 subjects per trimester, but we'll see how it goes. But the good thing is, even doing it part-time, because everything's online, so I can do it part-time, and then should I manage to get a job, like a full-time job, I can do, even if it's like 9 to 5, I can do that, and then I can just study in the evening, because both my subjects are actually on Wednesday. So, because I don't know if I mentioned, I'm doing the Torts 2 and 21st Century International Relations. So, because everything's just online. So it's just a matter of listening to the recordings, like, because the recordings that get posted online, so I can listen to those, and then assignments submitted online, so that's not an issue. So it's just a matter of, the only real thing I had to change was my exam location, because one of my torts subject has an exam, and I actually found out that I didn't necessarily have to travel to back to Armidale, where I was at, to sit it. So I switched it to I switched the exam location to Lithgow, which is only like probably 45-50 minutes away, because I could have switched it to Lithgow or Orange, and then I decided Lithgow was probably easier, because I'm at least familiar with like the trains and that between Bathurst and Lithgow, so and hopefully I don't know where the exact exam location is, but hopefully once I get my timetable and I know the address and that, it's hopefully going to be central, so like within like walking distance. So but yeah, that was probably the biggest, aside from packing up and moving back home, that was the biggest change, was switching my exam center. So I did that. But on the plus side, I actually passed everything this past trimester. If you follow me on Facebook, you'll know I got 2 passes, a credit, and a distinction. So, because I got the credit and the distinction I got a credit in Modern Political Thinkers, and I got a distinction in Introduction to Sociology. So, did that, and then I also got, I passed, the main one was I passed my law subject, so that was Torts 1, because I was a bit worried, because I'd actually initially failed, the assignment, because the exam was the main point of focus for the grade, because the exam was worth 70%, the assignment was only worth 30, so I had to really make up for it in the exam, which I did, because I got 58 overall, and I worked out that I got about 50 in the exam, and yeah, so I got 71% in the exam. When I worked that out, I was just yeah, that's, because for me that was, so I basically got a credit in the exam, so I was really happy about that. And because actually one of the best things was because one of the exam questions was the exact same as one of the tutorial questions. I mean, it wasn't the exact same, but it was very similar, had a very similar premise. And because I was because it was open book, so I was just when I had the layout of the tutorial question with me, and I was just like, is it meant to be this easy? And I was just like, because I was like, thought it'd be like, it was gonna, like, I was gonna get my results and find out, okay, yes, like, I was completely wrong, but I wasn't, so, yeah, I was happy about that. And then my other subject, which was, it was my film study subject, which was like visual pleasures, gender and style, I think was the name of it. I got it passed in that. But the thing I was most annoyed about was I got 61. So I was like 4 marks off a credit. And I was just going like, ugh. But anyway, I passed it. So, and for me, it wasn't just, for those 2 subjects that I passed, it wasn't just I barely scraped through pass. It was a comfortable pass for me. So yeah, the results, were really happy with those. So I suppose that was one less thing I had to worry about, because with everything that was going on, I was just kind of like, oh, what if I fail? Like, I was just kind of like, just those little doubts. I was like, oh, what if it gets to this point and then I've, found out I failed, one of my subjects, and then turns out I didn't have to worry. But it's just because there's such a gap between the exams and like when you submit all your assignments and that to the day you actually get the results, because for some of my subjects there was like 3 weeks waiting. So but no, I was really happy with how everything went in terms of my results. So yeah, so one positive thing. So basically, I suppose now that I'm back home, and about what this means like for my channel, I'm hoping now I'm going to try and be a bit more like active, like with filming, because I've still got to catch up on my film reviews, because I'm nearly done, like I'm nearly caught up. But I don't think, because obviously my payments I haven't got my payment approved yet. So I'm hoping I'll have an update at the end of next month. So for end of August, I'm hoping I'll have enough stuff to do an update. So that's the initial plan. But yeah, for the time being, it's just going to be I'm going to try and get back to doing the reviews, like uploading them weekly, like how I was doing it before. But yeah, that's basically how, like, there shouldn't be too like much of a change, like just probably more frequent videos, I'd say. But yeah, it's I think that's basically it. Just my life in a nutshell at the moment. So I think I would just stop it there, because I keep saying at this point. So yeah, I'm just gonna stop. Yeah, I'm stopping it here. So thank you guys for watching, and until my next video, I will see you guys next time. Bye.